Been so long, okay? So very long. And I've been beating myself up because, of course, the Diddy trial is, of course, set in place because now they are interviewing the jurors. So I already told y'all I'm going to be on the case, okay? So I'm a little behind, but I could definitely catch us up. All right, so let's just get to it. Okay, I apologize for not being on my live stream lately, but just know your girl is busy. If you don't see me, then I'm busy doing something, handling something. And today I got a little bit of time, especially earlier today, so I wanted to go ahead and do this live. Just knock it off early and let's see how long it go because it's a lot of stuff I need to cover. So for the people in the back, if you need to tiptoe out, that's all right because you could just rewind this video and everything catch up once you got time. Just come back once you got time. But yes, what's up, you guys? I know it's early, and I said I better start early while I can because if not, I don't know when the next time I will be able to start, probably this weekend. But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and get this done since I had time. So, you guys, a lot has been going on, okay? First of all, let's get into the stuff that's not related to Diddy, just because that'll move a whole lot faster than the Diddy mess, right? Because we could talk about that for days. And I got time for that. Okay? So, your boy Smokey, what is you up here doing? Now, Smokey Robinson is in his 80s, y'all, and he has a case. It looks like there are like three women who are coming out saying that he essayed them. Y'all, it's not looking good. And your boy is like in his 80s, like pushing 90, dude. What are you doing? Like, you can get some free older people stuff. Just do a performance somewhere. It'll be all type of older women out there, lined up to meet you backstage. But nah, you ain't want to be meet. You ain't want to be greeted backstage. You want to steal it. You want to take it from somebody. You want to manipulate your housekeeper and threaten to not pay her the money that you owe her unless she do some type of actual favor for you. This is ridiculous, you guys. This is really ridiculous. And the fact that Smokey Robinson is out here looking like some older woman right now. Sorry about that, you guys. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for coming in. Of course, your girl is getting started with the whole Diddy stuff eventually. But I was talking about Smokey Robinson because Smokey Robinson, y'all, has been caught up in the SA lawsuit. So what's being said is that a couple of the women who he had working for him at his home, they're suing him and allegedly his wife also. I'm not sure what that's about. Probably because they like, I didn't get paid, so I'm gonna sue you, your wife, and whoever else is in the house. And I ain't mad at you, okay? Sue who you need to sue, do what you gotta do. Okay, because you gotta get them funds. So allegedly, this one Jane Doe is saying that when Smokey Robinson would get out the shower, he would meet her and or he would call her in the room and he would be in there butt naked and then he would start to have an encounter with her, and she allowed him to do it. Now, Smokey Robinson is 80 something years old. In my opinion, and I don't know, maybe something happened and this woman could not get away. She could not get, restrain this 80 something year old man, who's out here looking like a woman, okay? Because he's definitely out here looking like somebody, grandma or auntie. Have you seen the pictures of him lately? Anyway, so the woman is saying that she didn't want to lose her job because she hadn't been paid. She didn't want to get deported. So of course, I'm assuming this is some type of illegal situation, or maybe the person is legal, but they still fear of being transported back to their original country. I don't know. It sounds very crazy because of the fact he's 80 something years old. And it's like, ma'am, you couldn't find a job nowhere else? Nowhere? You couldn't clean no other house? And it's weird to me that that case that's against Smokey Robinson, and again, I believe it's like 3 women or something that are coming out and saying that Smokey Robinson has been essaying women for a while, but they're suing him for 50 million. And I'm trying to figure out, is 50 million the go price for if you have an assault case, an essay case? I'm not sure if I should have been saying that, whatever. If you have an essay case, 50 million is the where you want to stay at, or the highest you can go, or something. I'm not sure. It's just concerning because, of course, Shannon Sharp has that lawsuit against him for essay as well. And his case is for 50 million. And it's rumored that Cassie got 50 million from P. Diddy. That's alleged. We still don't know how much Cassie received from Diddy. But it's real crazy that that whole 50 million is like a thing. And I'm not saying that Shannon Sharp or Smokey Robinson did not commit the crimes. I'm just saying that what is it about this 50 million? I don't know. They're all on this 50 million train. I don't know. Seems very strange to me. But anyway, I wanted to cover first the Jonathan Oddie interview, because if you guys don't know, Jonathan Oddie was a person who did an interview in, I believe, like 2016, 2018. I don't really know which one is the correct date, but I know it was years ago. What happened was, and I'm going to just make a whole timeline here for you, visual timeline for you. Okay, so just imagine this, right? Let's say 2016, 2018. This guy is Jonathan Oddie. He's caught in this Trump hotel. Someone gets a call saying that someone's in there bang banging, or no, trying to hold people hostage, because allegedly Jonathan Oddie went in the hotel, told everyone to get out and to call the police. And that's what happened. That's why in the video you don't see nobody in there. The whole hotel, is no one in there but Jonathan Oddie and the police. So allegedly, okay, Jonathan Oddie went into the hotel, told everybody to get out of the hotel because it's about to go down or something, and he made somebody call the police. So no one had to exactly call the police on him because he asked for the police to be called, meaning he wanted to see the police, okay? So let's get that straight, but that is alleged, okay? So Jonathan Oddie, he goes into a Trump hotel. He starts shooting at the police once they got there, and they end up pow-powing him in both of his legs, I believe, and they took him to the hospital. After all this, he was interviewed by the police department to find out, what was going on. They wanted to investigate the situation to find out, why did you go into these Trump Towers, the Trump Hotel, and shooting at the police. And so in the interview, Jonathan Ive said that he was paid, I believe he said $5 million by P. Diddy, because P. Diddy, now Jonathan Ive said this, so I'm going to show you the video. So I could say allegedly to save myself because I don't know how that works legally. So allegedly, okay, I'm going to show you that Jonathan Ive said that P. Diddy paid him $5 million because P. Diddy gave him an SUV. A SUV? STD. My bad. What a way to make light of the situation, right? A SUV. Oh my goodness. A STD, y'all. So, Jonathan Ive allegedly, now it has come out that Jonathan Ive received a settlement or signed the NDA with P Diddy, and P Diddy ended up giving him $5 million for this NDA that he signed. And Jonathan Ive went on this whole shopping spree, brought a whole bunch of stuff, I guess including things to pow pow with. I don't know. I'm just trying to make a joke right now. But then that's when he ended up pow powing the police in the Trump Towers. So that's how that all came about, because he received those funds, or it all came about because, excuse me, it all came about after he received those funds from Diddy. Now, I just wanted to refresh your mind on Jonathan Ive and what he said about P. Diddy, because he said a whole lot. And I remember watching the interview years ago, and I was saying everything he says makes sense to me. Everything. And I didn't know none of the lawyers he were talking about. Some of the stuff he was saying was very strange, but it made sense to me, and I believe that it could happen. So, knowing what Jonathan Ive said back then, and thinking about everything that's going on right now, you know, with Diddy's trial, it all makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, it all makes sense. Okay, it's all come full circle. So allegedly, the surprise witness, I love watching her channel. She wouldn't need to interview me for anything, but I definitely love watching her channel. I was watching her channel yesterday, and what's up, Chris? What's up? I ain't seen you in so long. I'm on here early today, okay? But yeah, so the surprise witness said allegedly that Jonathan Ive, that information just came out that he did receive an NDA from P. Diddy, and P. Diddy wanted him to be on the hush hush. He wanted him to sign an NDA so he wouldn't tell what happened. But what happened was he did an interview. Jonathan Ive did an interview with the police, and the police put the interview out. So, and you can't sign an NDA for doing criminal stuff. So, yeah. You just got off work? Okay, okay. Well, I know it's a wonderful way to wind down. Okay. It's a great thing to wind down right now. So, yeah. So, I just wanted to talk to remind us about what Jonathan Ive said during his interview, because he said a lot, a whole lot. Okay, let's get to it. Oh, so real quick, so Law and Crime, Jesse Weber, he did the Jonathan Ive story. Um, I think he did this like a year ago, and he was talking about Jonathan Ive and how everything seemed very strange, everything that Jonathan Ive was saying. But Nowadays, I bet it doesn't seem that strange, right? So I wanted to watch him just do some commentary on it and also tell us what he know or what he's thinking about this whole Diddy case. Y'all follow with me.
You see things that have come out. You see these videos that have come out. And I want to talk about this interview where Adi is rambling for a while and he's talking about different conspiracy theories. And then suddenly he mentions Combs.
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
It's the black people. Okay.
Quick aside here, the Boule is a real thing. It's the senior leadership of Sigma Pi Phi fraternity. Our understanding, it's the oldest postgraduate fraternity founded by and for black men. It was secret in the beginning, but not anymore. It's been rumored that Sean Combs might be a member, but he's not. Tom, first let's start there.
So, real quick, so the Boule, we have heard about the Boule for a long time, right? We've heard about the Boule, male and female being a part of the Black Boule, and a lot of people probably wasn't sure if it was a real thing or just like some type of small group that just housed a whole bunch of celebrities or people of status or something. But Jonathan Adi mentioned it. So how would he even know about it if it wasn't like a huge thing? I'm just trying to make y'all think, okay? Think outside the box. I know in your normal everyday life, you're probably not dealing with someone who wants to sell your body and move you from this state to the next state and, accept money from other people to for them to use your body. I know that might not be a thing in everyone's life here, but come on now. We're all grown. Unless everybody on this live stream or watching my video should definitely be of adult age, 21 and up, okay? Because this is not for children. I made that very clear. So I just want to say, y'all, listen, okay? Listen. Don't be so judgmental. Let's listen to this.
When you're interviewing somebody like this, who allegedly just shot up a public property, you have to take what he says with a grain of salt, I imagine, but you don't want to just ignore everything he's saying, right?
No, not at all. And you know what? I was always taught when you're doing an interview like that, you do more listening than you do talking. And you let them talk because it's amazing what people will bring up when they're in the situation.
Now, if you guys don't know, this is Jonathan Adi. This is the picture that he took or they took of him after he pow-powed the Trump Tower.
That this individual was in. People will give up anything they have in their back pocket, experiences they've had, or who they've had them with, will all come out during interviews like this. And you have to kind of break it into categories of believable, 50%, 25%, and 25%. You have to break up what you're listening to, but you don't stop listening and you take notes. And there's a way to kind of go about doing it in not getting him off track. If he starts to go down a road that's really weird, you can always say, hey, hold on to that for a minute. I'm interested in that, but hold on to that for a minute. We're going to go back to this. The Diddy information is really...
ChatGPT.
interesting because that can be pushed back and seen if he's actually where he was at that time. But the information that he was given during that interview was really interesting because it's all true right now.
Let's talk about what he said.
Okay.
So Adi claims that Combs is connected to this larger agenda to try and run the world. And as Adi starts to talk about Combs, he reveals something that the detectives really weren't expecting.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard lots of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with people and stuff, and I was like a sex slave, okay? For them, that's what I was. That's all right?
Now, Cassie is Cassandra Ventura. This is Combs' ex-girlfriend, who filed the initial civil lawsuit against him last November, really kickstarted this entire legal story because we saw after that a whole slew of other lawsuits that came out. And eventually this led to the federal criminal indictment. And while she isn't named specifically in the indictment, she is believed to be the person identified as victim number one in this indictment. It's with respect to the sex trafficking charge. And her story in her lawsuit and the accusations in the indictment seem to line up. And Cassie claims that Combs abused her for almost their entire 10-year relationship, using his money and influence to keep her from leaving. She claims Combs would have male escorts brought to his home or hotel rooms where these freak-off sessions would occur. These elaborate setups were reportedly filmed completely.
Now, she also claimed that she had to be on the lookout for these people of the night. That's what I'm gonna call them. But remember, if y'all don't, Cassie said she was on the hunt looking for these people. So she had to go online searching. She had to use all the resources she knew or she had available to look for these men to have these encounters with her and Sean.
And support staff, thousands of bottles of lubricant and baby oil have been found during the course of this investigation. And Combs reportedly used these sessions for his own gratification. But he also held on to the videos as collateral against whomever might be featured on them. And Cassie says that she was forced to take drugs when she participated in these freak-offs. Sometimes Combs would participate, sometimes he would just watch. An anonymous source told the New York Post that sometimes Combs wouldn't even be in the room, but could see what was going on from an elaborate camera setup in the home. So, Tom, this interview is from 2018. The fact that he...
Right, so the fact that P. Diddy didn't have to be in the room with the worker and whoever they were having intercourse with, I guess in this case, let's just say Cassie. You know, P. Diddy allegedly would be in another place watching them when he wasn't in the room. So this just gives me like the whole Taken movie, where I'm not sure if you guys ever seen the Taken movie before, but I believe it's the first or the second Taken one. Taken movie. Excuse me. And in the movie, there was, because that movie is about like ex-racketing, right? And then, of course, there's the savior, Liam, and he goes and find these girls and get them out of these situations so they won't be sold. But so it sounds like P. Diddy was doing some of the same thing, allegedly, because while he would pay for these workers to come and work, and speaking of work, they would be working his woman and he would be watching either in the room or while he wasn't in the room. So when he wasn't in the room, he would be watching via camera or video. So if he got these videos set up in there, I believe that maybe he wasn't the only one watching. What if, you guys, what if P. Diddy had this whole sophisticated video thing set up where he had people from other countries, people of like high stature, okay, watching the video at the same time. You know how you watch a fight? The fight comes on at 8 and everyone's streaming the fight. What if he had people streaming the freak off video? Why wouldn't he? I mean, it might be, I might be out there a little bit, thinking a little too deep into it, but I'm telling y'all, that's what I think was going on. This probably was a video that P. Diddy made and had on the black market or something. I don't know, child. We don't know. Let's see.
Referencing this before Cassandra Ventura's lawsuit.
Who is this
Before the
dude?
indictment, before all
Who is this little guy? He want to make sure he in the picture close to Diddy, and look like Diddy got on his little cardigan on. Okay, he's he's blushing a little bit. Look like probably because he's standing next to this big guy right here. Okay, who, child.
this came out, before all of us knew what a freak off was, that is really chilling and kind of gives us pause.
Yeah, it corroborates everything that is going on right now. And this guy becomes a witness. You know, he may have just stated this during a random interview back in 2018, but now he's a witness in the present day. They're going to go to him to see what else he knows. Now, when you have an individual like this, when you get him in this section now of being a witness, and you can kind of guardrail his way of thinking instead of just letting him go off on tangents, who knows what else he has or what other information he has about other crimes that were committed, who else was involved. There's a lot there, and you have to, take him for his word right now until it gets to a point where you don't anymore. But he's going to start corroborating a lot of the information that's out there right now.
And he claims that he participated in some of these sessions, and he also says he caught an STD.
I caught herpes, and I came back and I seen for herpes and won. But
See, I'm not sure if y'all heard him. He said he called herpes, and he sued for herpes, and he won. And y'all, he's going to name the lawyer that helped Diddy during this time, and his lawyer as well. But the lawyer that he named that was Diddy's lawyer is one of the lawyers that just got allegedly kicked out of the courtroom during excuse me, during this whole jury selection. Now, if you don't know, the jury selection started on Monday, May 5th, and it's still going on. We're into day 3 right now of the jury selection. But there was a lawyer, a Mark Garata or something. Anyway, he's been around Diddy and Diddy's team of lawyers, but he hasn't actually been said to be on the case. But he has a podcast with the guy from TMZ. The main guy from TMZ, which I'm not surprised at all. And I feel, and it's so crazy because I said that I wouldn't trust anything TMZ does, because they did the whole Surviving P. Diddy or something like that. I believe that host, which is one of the guys on TMZ, the main host, I can't think of his name right now, but he is on the podcast with this Mark Gerardo guy who is an attorney. Now, he doesn't officially work for Diddy, but he works with Diddy on this case. And Jonathan Oddie is saying that he was the one who was Diddy's lawyer back then and helped Diddy out with that herpes case that we never even heard of. Y'all, pay attention.
did Mark Garros and Ben Mercedes
Mark Girls.
were his attorneys, okay? And Christopher Leon's here was my attorney.
Let me rewind it for the people in the back.
In some of these
Herpes, and I came back and I seen for
Until it gets to a point where you don't anymore. But he's going to start corroborating a lot of the information that's out there right now.
And he claims that he participated in some of these sessions. And he also says he caught an STD.
I caught herpes, and I came back and I seen for herpes and won. But they did Mark Garros and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay? And Christopher Leon's here was my attorney.
See, y'all, he said it. Mark Girls was P. Diddy's attorney at the time. Now, I told you guys that Mark Girls, or however you pronounce his name, Anyway, this is the same guy who just got kicked out of the courtroom allegedly during this whole jury finding process. So I believe that was either Monday or Tuesday. Mark Juro got put out of the courtroom because the judge was confused about why he was there. And because I believe the government requested him to be out of the courtroom because they know that he has a podcast that he does with the guy from TMZ. And so they didn't want him going giving, certain information on this podcast, and then people know stuff that they possibly shouldn't know. I don't know, but Mark Burroughs did get put out of the courtroom by the judge because the government brought it to the judge's attention. So yeah.
Asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so. They gave it back to me accidentally, and it's possible I threw everything out. It's possible I can produce a copy.
So again, this interview is taking place back in 2018. Cassie's lawsuit wouldn't be filed until November of 2023, so the officers don't really know what he's talking about. Tom, you think he might be cooperating with the government? Maybe there's...
Yes. So allegedly, Jonathan Oddie is now a government informant. What does that mean? I'm not sure. The Surprise Witness TV, the girl on there, I forgot her name, but she's real sweet. You guys make sure you go check out her YouTube channel. Again, it's the Surprise Witness TV. She said allegedly that Jonathan Oddie is now a government informant, which means he probably has some type of witness protection. And that probably is why she didn't say all this. I'm saying this part. But so allegedly it's probably why he kept having a court case, and then he wasn't showing up for the court case, but they were continuing the case. They just kept continuing the case. I felt like then, like I didn't understand what was going on, but if he is a government informant now, it makes a whole lot of sense. And they could possibly be keeping him. This is just my opinion. I don't know this to be fact, but they could possibly be keeping him in hiding because if you think about it, a lot of bad boy related people or people related to Diddy have passed away since this case has started. I don't know if you guys remember Brother Ron. He had started a YouTube channel. Well, I'm not sure when he started, but he had started to talk about things that were going on between P. Diddy, and he even alleged on one of his videos that he was doing, that he was going to be he was going to be interviewed, or one of the witnesses. He was going to be one of the witnesses for a P. Diddy case. And then if you don't know, just recently, probably within the end of last year, supposedly Brother Ron passed away from a cancer battle or some type of, it may have been pneumonia or something. It was something like that. Anyway, something that seems real wicked that I don't believe anyway. But he passed away. A music exec just passed away that worked real closely with Diddy. And I believe they say he was battling cancer or something. But it's been countless people. Those are the two people I remember, like, just recently that have passed away. But it would be all the information Jonathan Oddie was telling in that interview, y'all, is huge. And he went to tell about politicians, about lawyers and stuff working crooked, being crooked and everything. So I would not be surprised if he wasn't in some type of being held so that they could protect him and use what they know to take P. Diddy down. Now, allegedly, people are saying that because of Jody Oddie, Jody Oddie, what is going on with my mind today? Jonathan Oddie and this interview that he did could be the reason why Miami has, you know, kind of come after Diddy real hard because Jonathan Oddie probably got some links, put some links together with it involving Diddy and stuff that's going on in Miami. So if y'all don't know, I remember, I believe that was around the end of last year as well. There were two lawyers who, not lawyers, real estate agents. I believe they were brothers or cousins or something like that. Allegedly, I'm not sure if they were related, but they had got busted for ex-racketing and distributing of rugs in Miami. And what was said to be going on was they would go to different clubs, find women or men, women and men, and they would also go online and find these people and they would pay them to go to parties and I guess be entertainment for the guests. Sounds like P. Diddy his whole freak offs and parties and everything. Y'all, it sounds like a lot. But let's get back to this Jonathan Oddie thing. But I really feel like Miami Police Department is probably working with Jonathan Oddie so that they could connect some dots on some of the criminal cases there. But that's just my opinion. I don't know that to be true. Let's get back at it. Oh, and so this video here, this is the Trump Hotel where Jonathan Oddie was at. Now, mind you, again, allegedly, Jonathan Oddie told everybody in the lobby to get out of the hotel. And he told them to call the police. This is allegedly. Okay? So he didn't go in there with the intent on hurting people. He wanted the police for some reason.
With them. The problem is...
Oh, and this is after he received the $5 million from Diddy, allegedly, for the NDA. So, obviously, they're saying that allegedly Jonathan Oddie was awarded $5 million for receiving that herpes from P. Diddy. He was told to keep quiet, so he signed the NDA. He went on a whole big shopping spree, buying all types of things. And then this happened here. He wanted to get the police involved, I believe, so he could speak with Trump. I believe that's what he said in the interview, but on Law and Crime here, they're not going to show the full video. But if you guys watch the full video, you would get a lot of details and a lot of little nuggets in there that they're not planned for some reason. Like, to me, that whole interview for Jonathan Oddie should be played over and over again because it's a lot of stuff he talked about. He talked about politicians. He talked about crooked people. He talking about P. Diddy being not in the room but watching on a whole bunch of screens. What does that mean? Watching them have intercourse on a whole bunch of screens. Y'all, let's listen.
Of course, is credibility, right? And during this interview, Oddie makes references to a lot of things. He makes references to a cabal of rich people who control the government. He claims the hip-hop world had its own goal.
The hip-hop agenda is an agenda to move drugs all over the United States. You need to involve DEA.
He said the hip-hop agenda is an agenda to move rugs around in the United States. Now, do that make sense to you all? Y'all know it do.
They move all the dope. Okay, all the dope on private jets, which don't get screened by...
On private jets. They move all the dope on private jets. Now, if you guys don't know, and yes, I'm going to tell it and keep interrupting because this is my commentary, okay? So just work with me, all right? You want to get the information, but then we got to go back and talk about how those pieces from over here, you know, need to be included with this, and we got to figure this out, okay? So just be patient. Make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Give me a thumbs up if you like the fact that I'm out here giving you all the news and the goodies. So, yeah, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. But if you guys don't know, Sean had some mess going on where I believe the people from his country allegedly were trying to figure out why he was bringing so many planes to wherever he's from. I'm not sure where he's from, and I don't have that. I can't even think of it right now. But they were complaining about the number of planes that were coming in. Hold on, you guys. Okay. So yeah. So when I heard that, I was like, why they worrying about planes coming over there? Like, what do they think the planes are bringing? And at the time, I was thinking, they could have been racketing women and men and stuff. But the way Jonathan Adi put it right here, it probably was dope. Okay.
By customs, by the inside the United States. Okay, they move what's called high grade powder MDMA. They move cocaine and they move liquid cocaine in the
Liquid cocaine. Listen, y'all. He said they would use these planes to move all these rugs, including liquid cocaine. All right, Chris.
bottles too. Okay, so they put the liquid cocaine in the bottles and they move it.
They put the liquid cocaine in the bottles, and that's how they would move it. Now, didn't the government say that they found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil? 1,000 bottles of baby oil? And Jonathan Adi is doing this interview saying that P. Diddy is a part of moving liquid cocaine in bottles. All right.
Okay, I've drank it myself. Having sex with Diddy and Cassie. Okay, it's not good. He drinks all the time.
All right, so Tom, what do you make of this? Because again, the question is he credible? Is the government relying on him? Maybe they're getting information from him, but maybe they won't call him as an actual witness at trial.
They should.
Meet the new
Take away from it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not anticipating him taking a stand if this even goes
What?
to trial. But what you want to do is you want to get his story out there. And what can the investigators do as well? You take his picture and you show it to other witnesses that are now cooperating.
So why not have him on trial? I mean, he gave so much credible information. Why would that not be credible for him to go up against Diddy? And see, I find something's not right to me about that. This man said this was in either 2016, 2018 that this man did this interview. This was way before all the craziness has come out, and we found out that Diddy was actually doing most of the stuff that Jonathan Adi is talking about. I mean, we have confirmed a whole bunch of stuff. So why wouldn't we take a person like this serious and have him to testify against Diddy? See, that's what makes me, kind of curious about how the government versus the prosecutors work. Like, are they working together? Do they all have an agenda to protect something? Because it just doesn't make sense to me. Why wouldn't the government want Jonathan Adi to testify? To me, he's more credible than Cassie.
Who is this guy? Start kind of backtracking to who he is and get into a profile of him.
And I'm not sure if they're going to show it, but Jonathan Adi, now he worked for this company that was like, they had teddy bear entertainers. So for people who had fetishes, they would contact this company if they had like a teddy bear fetish. And Jonathan Adi, he worked as one of the teddy bear performers for, whoever would contact the company, and he would go out and do whatever he had to do. As we could tell, he said that, Diddy would pay him to have intercourse with him and Cassie. And we do know that Jonathan Oddie worked for some type of adult performers, but they wear teddy bear costumes. So it was adult entertainment company that had these workers that wore teddy bear costumes. Okay, so I mean, come on. And Jonathan Oddie said that his ex-wife, I believe he said his ex-wife during the full interview, because I remember I hadn't seen it in like a year or two, but I remember Jonathan Oddie saying that his ex-wife is a lawyer. So I'm not sure how he ended up getting into that arena. Probably rugs to do it, rugs with the D. Make you do things you never thought you would ever do. But so it sounds like he come from a pretty stable background. So I don't understand why the government wouldn't use Jonathan Oddie as a witness. It just doesn't make sense to me. And we don't know if they will or they won't, because I believe they have two witnesses that they're not naming. So as of now, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Telling the truth, you start showing it to people who are in the know. Because listen, there's a lot of people no one knows about yet that are cooperating in this case and giving their statements because they want to get out in front of this. They know it's a crime. They know Diddy's in a lot of trouble and they don't want to get swept up in it. So there's probably a laundry list of cooperators with this. And what you start doing is, if the stories are the same and you don't need them, you won't use them. If something he's giving is new and credible, then they'll follow up with it even more.
You know what's interesting is that in one of these lawsuits, the one that was filed by Rodney Little Rod Jones, this is Combs' former producer, sued him for sexual assault. He writes in his complaint, quote, "They were made aware of this through complaints made by Cassie Ventura and the lawsuit by former Diddy sex worker Jonathan Oddie." So he's referencing him too. And now we tried to look it up. We couldn't confirm if there was a lawsuit that was filed by Oddie against Combs or vice versa. And just to give everybody, here's another sampling where he talks about it as well, because the detectives try their best to steer Oddie back to this issue about the shooting inside the hotel. But listen to what he says.
They didn't try
I got a
this.
great life. I've settled $4.15 million with Diddy. Okay, was he scared?
See, he said he settled $5.5 million with Diddy. Here we go.
Says.
I've had a great life. I've settled $4.15 million with Diddy. Okay, was he scared that I was exposed?
I don't want to talk about Diddy right now. I want to talk about you. Help me understand you. I mean, who?
So yeah, I don't think they realized at the time how potentially valuable this information could
Right.
be. And there's no way for us quite at this point to verify what he's saying. But those connections between Jones mentioning him and this lawsuit and the details, it's interesting.
Yeah, but you have to understand, it's the Secret Service that's interviewing him. And the Secret Service wouldn't be involved in the investigation of Diddy if it was going back even that far. Rang a bell with a possible investigation that was taking place then. So you have to understand the Secret Service is focusing on the shooting at the Trump Hotel. And when you start hearing this information about Diddy, I understand them trying to just get back on track with talking about the shooting, because that's why they're there. But when you're sitting there, you take note of it, you understand what he's saying, and you pass it on. And hopefully they did that. You know, when you have information like that of criminal activity that's taking place, you hope that they passed it on to the right agency.
I don't imagine they would give him some sort of deal. Like, hey, we know you have all this information, about Combs and the inner workings. I'm not sure they need him if a lot of this is actually on videotape, like we're seeming to be reading between the lines of the indictment and some of the filings from the prosecutors. They might not need him to corroborate these sessions happen. But B, he's charged with attempted murder on law enforcement officers. I don't think that there's any kind of benefit to him that would be given for his testimony.
Hey, Queen.
Yeah, probably not. And again, when you look at the enormity of this, I am sure all the information that he gave has already been put out there, put into the indictment, put into the criminal activity, which resulted in him getting arrested. There's probably many, many more that are giving more information about this situation than him. So I could see them trying to avoid him. You want to get credible people involved in this. And again, like I said before, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District are masters at this. They know who to use, what statements to use, and who they want in the event that it does go to trial. So he may not be on their list.
And by the way, we looked it up, and it seems that his case has pretty much been in limbo since 2018. He's still behind bars in Miami-Dade County. His case has been continued again and again and again. His next hearing, I believe, is scheduled for October 10th. There was one other thing that he mentioned, the idea of the drugs, right? And we've heard about this before. There have been multiple allegations made against Combs when it comes to drugs. Drug use was reportedly rampant within Combs' inner circle. When Combs came to New York, reportedly to turn himself in last week, police searched his hotel room, and authorities say they found a baggie of pink powder that tested positive for cocaine. His attorneys have said that he's been getting therapy and treatment. They didn't say what kind of treatment specifically. And although he is not charged specifically with drug offenses, that makes up underlying crimes within the racketeering case, this criminal enterprise, this organization that committed a bunch of crimes. He's also not hit with specifically federal gun charges, but there were accusations in an indictment of possessing guns with obliterated serial numbers. Again, these kind of underlying charges. From an investigative point of view, when you think about the raids and you think about the connection between drugs and guns and this criminal organization, what jumps out to you?
Well, it all makes sense. These criminal activities that are happening is under an umbrella. You see it all the time. Where there's drugs, there's money. Where there's money, there's guns. It's just a equation in law enforcement that we dealt with for decades, and I did personally. So, the other thing is just because this case is in the midst of going on and he's been arrested doesn't stop the investigation. The investigation continues because information is going to continue to flow in. And if there's more criminal charges that need to be added to this, there will be.
Mr. One final question. Combs was denied bail twice. Once by a magistrate judge, another by a district court judge. Big themes that he's a danger, that he was allegedly reaching out to witnesses and victims and intimidating them and gaslighting them and providing them false narratives, that he could potentially be a flight risk. And there was an offer put on the table by the defense where they said, we'll put up a $50 million bond secured by his house. He'll have no access to a phone. He'll have no access to the internet. We will hire a third-party security team to monitor him 24/7. He'll wear a GPS monitor. We will give you a log of people that come to and from his home. But the judges felt that was insufficient given the allegations asserted by prosecutors. Right decision?
Absolutely, 100%. You cannot let him out because I think the number one thing is the flight risk. I think personally that's the biggest threat for him. And
even though he never left. Even though he came to New York voluntarily, there was communications between his attorney, the prosecutors in this case, the United States attorneys for the Southern District, where they told them constantly, Combs is going here, Combs is going here. We have his passport. That's what his lawyers were telling the government. So even that, you still think the flight risk was the big thing here.
Yeah, because now he's charged and in jail. Your mindset changes. The reality of sitting in a jail cell maybe for the rest of your life gets into your head now. So that's why I think the flight risk is the biggest thing. And listen, Diddy's an intimidating guy. He knows a lot of people, a lot of powerful people, and the intimidation factor with possible witnesses is certainly on the minds of the U.S. attorney and the judge.
Tom Smith, thank you for coming on, breaking down this odd situation with Jonathan Oddie. I can't be the only person who does that. I mean, I think I might be, but I don't know. I feel like other people might make that connection. Anyway, Tom, where can everybody check?
Well, you guys, yes. So that's Jonathan Oddie. Like I said, I couldn't find the video, the full video, but the stuff that you guys heard, what do you think about it? With Jonathan Oddie saying that P. Diddy is a part of the Black Boule. I didn't play the clip. He had said it in this Law and Order, why I keep saying Law and Order? Law and Crime, because it just makes sense. Like this Law and Crime channel, on this video here earlier, they did play the clip where Jonathan Oddie said that the Black Boule was connected with Diddy. Diddy is connected with them. In the original video, Jonathan Oddie talks about P. Diddy working with lawyers and politicians and the government being a part of this whole scheme to get black people on rugs and push rugs with the music and push the rugs to different places using helicopters and planes and stuff. So, yeah, it's a lot of mess going on here. It really is. And I'm here for it. But, so that's the whole Jonathan Oddie thing. He definitely stated in there that he received the settlement of $5 million plus dollars. He said it, his words, okay, not mine, his words, from Diddy to be quiet. But for some reason, he wasn't quiet. He was in there talking like a canary, okay? So I do have some notes from day one of the Diddy trial search or trial selection. Looks like everything got started early morning and ended about 5 p.m. on day one. Mark and Agnifilo, that's Diddy's lawyer. He was asking about some employees that work for HBO. Because I believe some of the jury trial members work for the HBO. And, you know, Diddy has a lawsuit against HBO for that Surviving Diddy documentary, or which one it is, the Diddy documentary that they did. So, of course, they want to go ahead and get them up out of there because you already know. If anybody worked for HBO and Diddy has this lawsuit going, they're not going to be on Diddy's side. So they got him out of there real quick. But day two, the judge was going through the jury selection. So they were all the jury members were in one room, and then they were going to another room, courtroom where the judge was at, and the judge and the government was pretty much trying to figure out, or not, I'm sorry, the judge, the government, and Diddy's team were trying to figure out, okay, what jurors are we going to keep and what jurors are we going to not keep. So it looks like they're needing in total 12 jurors for this Diddy case. And they need 6 jurors on standby. So these 6 standby jurors will have to come to each and every court case or court appearance. So anytime court is in session, these 6 standby jurors will have to come just in case they need to fill in for 1 or 2 people because of whatever reason. So that's good. They do have people on standby. So they'll always have someone there. Okay. What else here? Okay, so yeah, I wanted to talk about day 2, which was yesterday, jury selection, just to give you all a glimpse of what the judge and the lawyers are having to deal with. Oh my goodness, it's this little fly or something that's in here. I don't know what kind of fly that is. So, day 2, of course, of jury selection, the federal government filed a document to get Mark Gurgles out of the room, and I told you all about that already. So the judge came in day 2. He said, "Good morning to everyone." Oh, and this information I'm receiving from Inner City Press. Okay, so it's a guy who worked for Inner City Press. His name is also Mark. I believe his name is Mark as well. I can't find his name. But I think his name is Mark also. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, the guy for Any City Press, he has been in the courtroom each and every day. And I hadn't even had time to go on there today and see what type of stuff he was posting about, what was going on during the jury selection, because they're still doing the jury selection.
Content, where can everybody see you if they want to learn more about
As of today. And this would be day 3. So again, this is day 2. The judge came in the courtroom. He said, "Good morning to everyone." He had all the jurors, the potential jurors, to fill out a questionnaire. And if they had any yes questions when they were called in the room to be kind of like a slight interviewed, then they will have to explain the yes questions. So there were a lot of different types of questions in the survey. Some of the questions include, do you have a criminal record? Do you have any problems with the government, or believing certain stuff? They also asked the jurors or potential jurors if they knew a list of the people, a list of people. Now, I don't know if these people that was on the list will be part of the jury of the case, the Diddy case, but some of those people that the jurors were questioned about, if they knew them, include Kid Cudi, Don Richards, so of course everybody's been name dropping because of day 2, when it all came out that the jurors have been questioned about whether or not they know of or heard of these people. Because if they know these people, or if they've seen these people work, or they follow them on social media, then they might be biased. So I think it's real good that the judge did ask, the potential jurors, if they knew certain things or certain people. Because, of course, we already know if they like that person, then they're going to pretty much go with whatever they like. That's what fans do. They please. Okay. So, let's see here. They went from one courtroom to another courtroom. They were shown people and places, so also places as well. Let me get my glasses, y'all. Okay, hold on. Hold up, wait a minute. Okay, I got the glasses on, so it's serious now, okay? So, the potential jurors were asked if they seen certain people and places before. Starting here with potential juror 48. Reads people and places, says she has a yes answer. She was a victim of a crime in the Bronx, but she felt they could have did better. She was asked She was asked about the people and places, and she did say yes, she knows them from, I guess, social media or something. I don't know. They didn't say, or Inner City Press didn't release what people she did say she knew, but she did say yes. Let's see here. So she was excluded. So excluded means they got rid of her. They have to agree. The judge and the lawyers, all three, have to agree on the person. And yeah, she was straight. Juror 61 was asked, where did she hear about the case? And she said she could judge fair. Mark Agnifilio striked her, and the judge agreed. So, Juror 61 said she was familiar with certain people and places, and she said she would judge fairly. And Diddy's lawyer was like, and the judge was like, yeah, I agree. Let's get her out of here. Get her out of here. So, juror 88 was asked if she had any yes answers. She said yes, she's in therapy for her niece. So I think the question on the questionnaire that she answered yes to was, is she in any type of therapy? Does she take therapy? Because think about it. If a juror is a victim of any kind and they see a therapist, they might, that might persuade them to go against the person that's being accused of crimes, because it could trigger them. So so she said she was in therapy for her niece, and her son is a prosecutor, and she's not sure if she could be fair. So she was very honest, and she said that no, my son is a prosecutor, I am in therapy, and I'm not sure if I could be fair. So yeah, they got rid of her. Yeah, so jury 101 was called. He said he had stents in his heart and doesn't want to be on the jury. So they got rid of him. So he was very honest. He was like, look, I ain't got time for this. It's, y'all, I don't know how to explain it. These are not gnats. I don't know what the heck these little bugs are, but it just came across my little screen right here. I'm gonna have to find a way to get rid of it. But anyway, so yeah, he was real honest. He was like, look, I got health problems. I ain't got time for this. Okay, so they got rid of him. So potential juror 137, he said he knew a Robert Dunn. So I guess a Robert Dunn was on that list of people that they asked if they do know. He said his father was a psychiatrist and he was a lawyer. So juror 137 says he's a lawyer, and his father is a psychiatrist. He said he wrote on a paper that he said the hotel CNN footage, that he saw the hotel CNN footage. Hello, hello. What's up? Okay, it's about to start getting weird in here. It's about to get weird. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So, potential juror 137, he said he knew a Robert Dunn. His father was a psychiatrist and he is a lawyer. He said he wrote on his paper, on his survey paper, that he saw the hotel CNN footage and he's not sure if he could be fair. So yeah, they got rid of him because he was very upfront and honest, and he said, yeah, nah, I don't know. I don't think so. Juror 143, he said he read an article about who got excluded, and his wife was a child cancer psychologist, and he was arrested for a DUI. They excluded him real quick. Okay. But Diddy's team wanted to keep him. So let me read that again, y'all. So juror 143, because they weren't going in order. They had a whole bunch of potential jurors in one room, and they were just like, I don't know, pick a name out the hat to get certain jurors to come in there to be interviewed, so they can see which jurors they're going to go with. So these jurors are not being called in order. They're out of order for a purpose, for a reason, right? But potential juror 143, he said that he read an article about who got excluded. So again, this is day 2. So he was told on day 1 for the jury selection that he was not to read anything about this case. And so he went against that, even though he did tell honestly to the judge and, everyone in the room that he did read an article about who got excluded. Yeah, I wouldn't trust him. But yeah, they got rid of him. Anyway, potential juror 149, he said his son was jumped while in college by maybe 3 black guys. He wasn't sure. He said, but people are people, and that he would and that he said that he also would be able to judge fairly. And they let him stay. Oh, he also said that his wife was essayed by one of her uncles in her family, and her family hid it, and because of his heritage. And the judge asked, what is his heritage? And he said Puerto Rico. And they kept him. So again, that's juror 149. He said his son was jumped while in college by maybe 3 black guys. Now, how do you get it? Possibly it could have been 3 black guys versus, I don't know. And then he also said that that he could judge fairly. I don't believe that. And that his wife was essayed by her uncle. I'm surprised that Diddy's team would want to keep him, even though he said his wife was essayed by her uncle. Seemed like if the wife carried this hurt and this trauma, seemed like he would carry the weight of it too, and I wouldn't be able to trust him. Because I would think, he's probably going to side with anyone who ever said that they were assaulted in any way. But yeah, that's some of the jurors from day 2 of the trial. Again, we're on day 3 of the trial, and I haven't seen Inner City post today to find out what else, what was going on today during the jury selection. But I'm pretty sure it's good. I'm pretty sure it's real good. Okay. But I really don't want to see no more of the jury selection. That was enough for me yesterday. I was like, okay, this is boring. But I'm pretty sure if you're in the courtroom, it's probably real funny because a lot of people have like real stuff going on. Like the guy who came in and he said I got stent. He said he had stents put in his heart. He got health problems. He don't even want to be involved. Like, that would make me laugh. I would feel bad that they held him all the time. They held him and got him coming up here because he probably, if he has stents in his heart, he probably on a cane, use a cane or a walker or something, and you got him doing all this walking to come up here for this mess. They probably should get most of these people to do these questionnaires like at the house or something. Because think about it, most courtrooms are downtown. It's a busy area. In a busy area, it's hard to get parking. Then you have to do a whole lot of walking. Then you got to get inside of the courthouse because you're going to have to be pat down or whatever. They're definitely going to use that little wand, make sure you don't have any weapons on you. That could be a whole process, especially if it's a long line outside. And I'm pretty sure they didn't have them wait through all this because they started very early Monday morning. But still, just the drive and the walk and all, that's a lot. So obviously, since they had at least 140 something people, we know they going through a lot of people. It's going to be hard for them to find jurors that say they never heard of this case in any way. And I'm thinking, unless you're nuts, you're probably going to feel some type of way about Diddy. Okay? Like, they asked the question, could you be fair? Could you be fair? Could you be fair? Let's say you hadn't saw the video of Diddy monkey stomping Cassie, even though he didn't have shoes on. Either way, he put a high pressured foot on a woman. Now, even if that was a guy, I would feel some type of way about it. But let's see here. Okay. Yeah, make sure I get rid of him because I don't know what he was talking about and I don't want to see him in the future. But could you be fair? Can you ask yourself, in the Diddy situation, could you be fair? When you hear people say, let's say, you don't even know any rappers, okay? They bring this Diddy guy in the courtroom and he's looking like however he's looking, right? And they bring this woman and put her on the stand, and she's telling you that she was forced against her will to be with Diddy. And she was a very young girl when they got together. She was like 18 years old. And he got her started on rugs for the first time. With that right there alone, wouldn't that make you feel like, you know what? See, I ain't fooling with him. Automatic. To me, that's automatically like, nah, I can't be fair. After I hear that, because I know how men do that. They get these younger girls because they don't know better, even though they think they do. I was a young girl in that situation, so I definitely understand from that perspective that I thought I knew, but I didn't have no idea. But I'm just trying to figure out, most of those jurors are probably going to be like, unless they just liars, and they could be on there lying. And have you ever applied for a job before and they give you this whole little personality test? Most jobs nowadays give you this personality test, right? They ask you all these questions like, how do you feel about charity? And do you feel like more people should do more for charity? And I guess trying to see how sensitive you are, or what type of person you are, what type of thinker you are and stuff. And they always ask, do you, what's the question? They ask, do you believe most people are honest? And, I always debate trying to answer that question because I'm like, should I be honest and say no? That's because that's how I feel. I feel like, we all have, what they call it, free will. Don't we have free will? Well, supposedly, right? That's what the Bible says, that we supposed to have free will. So if we felt like we wanted to not be religious, that's my right to be religious. So I shouldn't have 5, 6, 7, 8 people around me trying to make me be religious when God says I have a free will. So why are you trying to force me to do something I don't want to do? But so in that case, I'm thinking people have free will, so they could do whatever they want to do. And with this society being like it is, I don't see a lot of people not cheating or stealing or lying to get ahead. Because whether you know it or not, we're going through a recession. So a lot of people probably lying, cheat, stealing, not being honest. So if I say that I don't believe that people are honest, does that make me look like a bad person because that's how I feel? I'm just asking the question, okay? Because I know that question gets asked a lot. And it's people probably not truthful because I don't be truthful when I have to answer that question. I always say that I believe mostly people are honest. But I don't really believe that. I just say that because I think that's what they want me to hear. But, so I'm just thinking about this jury selection. These people not going to be completely honest. Like, you might have some folks that's just honest, but then you're going to have some folks that's not too honest. They're not going to tell the truth. They're going to say, no, I didn't see anything. I don't know who P. Diddy is. P. who? P. what? And know good and well who that man is. But they're gonna be right up there on the jury in the jury selection because they want to get the scoop. I would do it. I would be a juror on the P. Diddy case. I would do that. First of all, because I'm nosy. Now, would I be able to judge fairly? No, I wouldn't. Because I have heard of P. Diddy before, and I don't trust that P. Diddy didn't have anything to do with Biggie Smalls and Tupac. I said that on this channel plenty of times before. So, yeah, I wouldn't. Either way, I still would want to be nosy. So if I can't get on the jury selection and be a part of the jurors, then I'll just watch Inner City Press and let him tell me what happened and went down because I'm still going to state my opinion anyway. Yeah, I can't wait till this trial goes to get started. So they're predicting that this trial is expected to last 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Do you guys believe that? Do you trust that this trial is going to last 6 weeks, or do you think it's going to be longer than that? I'm thinking it's going to be longer than that. Some more charges are probably going to come up against Diddy. Now, if you guys don't know, Diddy just turned down a plea deal. I believe that was Monday, it was reported that he just turned down a plea deal. That's not to say that he won't receive another one, because I'm pretty sure while the case is going on, he can request a plea deal or something. I don't know. I mean, he's gathering up all these lawyers. They're saying that he has 2 new lawyers that has joined his team. So, he's up here trying to get all the help he can get. And, who's surprised? Not me. No one's surprised. We know this is the work of the Diddler. Make sure you guys leave me some comments in the comment section. I know this video was long, but I had to make it up, okay? I had to make it up, and now I'm on here. I'm like, I don't even want to get off. And that's how it be. I get on here, don't even want to get off. But I do need to get off for a little bit, see what's going on here in my household. And I might just come back with another live. So make sure you guys check back in with me here. Make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel so you'll know every time I go live. Okay, you'll get a notification. Make sure you click that little bell button and it'll shake a little bit, let you know you will get notified. Okay. I'm just being silly, you guys. I'm so happy to be on this live talking about this Diddy case. I'm so glad it is here already. Can you believe this time has moved by so fast? So fast. I almost forgot. I was like, well, the court doesn't start until the 21st, I believe. And But no, I forgot about the jury selection. So yeah, you guys. Yeah, but I'm gonna definitely try to get back today because I know the rest of this week, this work week, I'm probably not going to be able to get back on here. But yeah, so I'll be back with another one. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel here and give me a thumbs up, okay? Yeah, your girl is on here talking about the Diddy case and talking about everybody else, all the celebrities who doing something. Matter of fact, I didn't talk about TD Jakes, so that might be something I research real quick and get back on here and do a live. Because speaking of people around Diddy who's been taken down or deleted, it's reported, it's been reported that allegedly TD Jakes has stepped down. Yeah. Now, what is that about? Because he did a whole interview on Good Morning America, I believe, saying that the am I still on? TD Jakes said that during that interview he did on Good Morning America that that case was ridiculous. He didn't say that it wasn't true. He said it was ridiculous. And now he has stepped down as pastor of his church. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be a good trial as well. It's probably not going to go to trial. I'm not sure. I think that's just like a criminal case, or is that criminal case have trial? I don't know. I don't know court lingo that well, but I do know one thing. I will be following it all. So I may do some little research on that and then come back and give y'all my commentary on it. But make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment in the comment section. I'm going to check it before I go live again so I can answer any questions you guys have. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Mwah. Thank you so much. I do appreciate all my subscribers. And yeah, I'll be back with another one. Peace. Turn off.